Let's bring in Pennsylvania Democratic Congressman Chris Deluzio. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, President Trump says Iran's taking too long, but just yesterday he said a deal could happen in 2 or 3 days. Do you have any sense if a deal is actually close or if these strikes set everything back even further?
Who knows how close a peace deal is here? I've heard the president for weeks now say it's around the corner. Maybe it's in a few hours, a few days. Who knows? And to me, exposes that this team, this president, this defense secretary, and Pete Hegseth had no clue what they were doing starting this war, a war that the American people don't want, a war that has made us less safe and has made life a heck of a lot more expensive in Pennsylvania and all over the country. So the short answer, I have no sense, because I don't think this administration has any sense of whether they can actually secure a peace deal and whether such a deal would be good for the American people.
Fox is reporting that President Trump is close to ordering new strikes against Iranian power plants and bridges. Those are civilian targets, and attacks on them could be considered a war crime. You were part of a group of lawmakers who made that video reminding members of the military they don't have to follow illegal orders. Is this the sort of thing you were worried about?
Look, who could have guessed the president would start a war in Iran and then be threatening annihilation of the Iranian people as he did? And of course, targeting purely civilian infrastructure isn't just against international law. It's illegal under American law, much as it was to threaten the annihilation of the Iranian people. It's dangerous stuff. It tells me this president is willing to not even push the boundaries of the law, go past them, threaten to go past them, test whether people are willing to follow him down that path. It's dangerous stuff. And again, we have laws in this country and a constitution for a reason, and no one, president on down, should be putting our troops in such a terrible position.
We learned today that this war is putting even more pressure on prices, with new inflation numbers showing the U.S. surpassed 4% inflation last month. The price of oil rising sharply this morning following Trump's latest threat. It's now around $93 a barrel. How are your constituents dealing with these elevated costs?
My constituents are pretty angry, as you can imagine, about these costs going up. And it's not some complicated theory of what's happened. Donald Trump started a war in the Middle East that shut down the Strait of Hormuz and has shocked oil markets. And we are paying for it in Pennsylvania. We're paying for it all over the country. You talk to people in Penn Hills or Beaver Falls or Mount Lebanon or anywhere else in my district, they're seeing the same thing. Life is more expensive because Donald Trump started this war, and there seems to be no relief in sight for costs coming down.
Meantime, despite backlash, President Trump is standing by Bill Pulte as his pick for acting director of national intelligence, announcing he's going to start on June 19th. But the president just moments ago posting on Truth Social, I am asking Congress to send me a short-term extension of FISA to provide time for the selection and confirmation of a permanent head of the agency. Congressman, Democrats have threatened to block reauthorizing part of FISA, this key intelligence piece, if Pulte gets this role. How do you see this latest move by the president, his suggestion he'll pick someone else permanently? Is that enough for you to give the go-ahead for the FISA extension?
It's not enough for me to extend FISA without reforms. And I've been clear, a warrant requirement to surveil Americans isn't just a polite suggestion. It's what our Constitution requires. And when you throw on top of that, not having a warrant requirement and having someone like Pulte in this job, who, number one, has no experience in national security or intelligence, and number two, and maybe most dangerously, was operating as Donald Trump's enforcer in his current job, where he was willing to weaponize his little power he had to go after political opponents like Adam Schiff and others of the president. To put that man in charge, even for a short time, of our national intelligence would be a really dangerous escalation of this president and his team and their campaign to go after political opponents. And I say that as a guy who's been on the receiving end of that, of someone he threatened to throw in prison and called for my hanging.
But what happens if FISA expires? Is that a risk you're willing to take?
Look, I think if this administration is concerned that they won't have the tools to keep this country safe, they should work with the Congress to put in a warrant requirement. They should not suggest and put forward a nomination of someone like Bill Pulte, who is woefully underqualified, and maybe even worse than being underqualified. He has shown his willingness to be an enforcer against political opponents, to weaponize, in this case, intelligence against people who are perceived to be enemies of the president because of their political beliefs. That is dangerous stuff, and the failure here is on the president and his team for even putting it in front of the American people that way.